Thornley Village in County Durham is an incredibly special place. Those that live here are proud of its mining roots and proud of how the village has evolved and blossomed since the pit closed in 1970. The coal industry that once dominated the area was responsible for Thornley's rapid expansion and, once gone, resulted in many challenges for those that call Thornley home. Thornley Parish Council, alongside the residents of Thornley, have embraced the challenges of the last 50 years and are proud to share with the world a year in the life of Thornley. The driving force behind village maintenance, essential services and local events is the Parish Council, who work in partnership with national government and Durham County Council.
It is important that they all work together, and obviously you've got central government that will look after issues from defence, from the NHS, education, set the kind of strategy for the whole of the country. Then you've got county councils that look after the issues within the boundaries of the locality. But, you know, people forget about parish councils, and they are really important because it's actually just a group of people who get together, volunteers. They have their finger on the pulse of the local community, and the best of the parish councils work together for the benefit of the local community, and Thornley is just a glowing example of that.
The parish council looks after the village in a way and its residents, and it provides services for its residents what's related to their needs.
It's so varied, it's unbelievable. My particular role covers everything from grounds maintenance, cemeteries, general administration, paying bills, doing budgets,
fundraising. We might have a big issue where something's happened, a piece of equipment's broke down, we have to find replacements for them. A building might have been broke into, we have to come out late at night to speak with police, and so there's really, it's so varied, it's so hard to explain what it is we actually do. It's easier to explain what we don't do.
Filming for a year in the life of Thornley began in summer 2018, and one of the first events paid tribute to a local man, a miner who, like so many others from the village, left to fight in the Great War.
Well, John Scott Yule was one of our residents, so we think it's very important that we recognise his achievements, especially when he won the VC. Obviously, that's a high accolade, and we just think it's really important that we recognise that.
It's a piece of history. A local lad getting the VC. There's not many around the country who can boast that in the small mining villages.
The history and heritage of Thornley was further marked on the 14th of July by the Thornley Colliery Banner Parade ahead of the Durham Miners Gala. Organised by former Thornley miners and passionate local residents, the parade is incredibly significant, not only for the history of Thornley, but for the history of the Durham Miners Association.
We class it as the most important banner of the county because in 1869, up at the crossways, they had to say it was a picnic, but it wasn't. There was 13 lodges, miners' lodges up there, and they said they were having a picnic. And that was the first meeting for the day of year. And then after the September, the next meeting was in Durham, in the Market Tavern, in the November, and that is when the day of year started.
Summer also saw the village putting out the bunting and coming together, as their parents and grandparents had done in years past.
It's about looking back at the old-fashioned street parties. You know, we want young people to see what it's like to have a street party. And this is the perfect year to do it in. And we want people to have fun in the summer holidays and hopefully just bring people together to enjoy themselves while they're here as well. As part of another development of the village centre, we hope to be able to do some consultation as well on a phase of the skate park, new skate park, what's proposed and what the young people wanted when we did some consultation about 3 years ago.
As the school holidays came to an end and the summer festivities began to fade, Thornley Parish Council found itself the centre of attention at Durham County Hall. Parish Clerk David Moore was asked to screen our summer update at the annual County Durham Association of Local Councils meeting, where he explained how Thornley is evolving to meet the growing demands on parish councils.
We needed to engage with the residents. We needed to keep up with the technology, and we had to use social media to do that and to communicate with them. We have to modernise local government.
Council Chair Joyce Unsworth also saw her years of hard work and dedication to Thornley recognised and rewarded.
I nominated Joyce for the Chairman's Medal, which is an award the Durham County Council gave. Now, it's a very select medal. Not everybody who's nominated gets one, because it's basically for people who give a lot of time to the community over the years, have done something special for the community, and have gone really well over and above what you would expect from a volunteer.
It was clearly, to me, an award that was due. And it was a great pleasure to meet with Joyce. Typically, she, and as is the case with many people, she's modest. I asked her to tell me why she should be given this, and rather mischievously asking that question. But and she gave me a few reasons, but I said, well, you've missed out so many things here, you know?
Joyce Unsworth just sort of, she's here, there and she's everywhere as far as Thornley's concerned. And every time I come to Thornley, Joyce seems to be there doing something. And she's, like I said, for parish councils, just to have someone who cares and who's prepared to go that extra mile on a voluntary basis, doesn't get paid for it, just wants to get involved because she loves the local community, she loves Thornley, she loves the people here, and she wants to do her best for the people. And as far as I'm concerned, that's exactly what she's doing.
Over the last few years, with the evolution of the village and the construction of the village centre, Thornley has been able to grow, and we are proud to highlight just some of the organisations that now flourish. For example, Thornley FC.
This is our 4th season now. We started off with what is now the under 16 age group. They were under 12s at the time. I'd coached the kids for 4 or 5 years before we brought them to Thornley at another club, because there wasn't a club here. And most of the team were from Thornley, so I thought, well, let's see if we can set something up in Thornley.
My name's Tony Young, Chief Instructor of Flourishing Thornley, 26-year-old. Some people might not think I am. And we have obviously a karate club here in Thornley, a non-profit organisation, been going since 2014.
Football is about fun, but at the same time you also build a skill with how to communicate with new friends, meet new people, and the confidence when you do something better. Is that a good pass or good shot or something like that? And you could see, I mean, every week in, week out, you could see the improvement there, and I think it's important to develop not only as a player, and also will go far in their life. I truly believe that.
It's teaching the respect side of things, how to obviously respect elders, how to look after things, as well as obviously where you live, as well as others. And then there's obviously the physical side of things, fitness-wise, keeps you fit. Mental side of things as well, it progresses them on it. And confidence, I was very, very small, very shy when I was young, when I started karate. And my confidence over the years just just peaked.
We see really positive results with not just the way that they're behaving around the football pitch, but the kind of the people that they're starting to develop into as well. And we're seeing that especially with the older ones now. There's a real kind of sense of belonging to something.
You've got the football, you've got the karate, you've got the tea dance, you've got the Pilates. How many villages have this sort of setup? I think a lot of people take it for granted.
They've helped us to develop a little kickers program, which is a little summer school for 5 to 8 year olds, and from that we've added 2 new teams.
You know, Dave and Joyce, any bit of particular thing that I was struggling on financial wise or advertising wise, they would say, well, this is the route you can go down, we can help you out in this certain way, or speak to, you know, such as Jude, is now, you know, a Durham County Councillor. She can help in this certain way as well.
We managed to get agreement with them to be able to use the welfare park in the village, which was great, to be able to actually not only represent the village but be able to play our home fixtures here as well was really important. And they actually sponsored our away kit in our first season, which was just a massive boost, you know, so it was really good.
Years ago it used to be used for by the miners for sports days and events, and this used to be the hub of the village here, because we had what you call the welfare centre, which was just in the field next to this. Near the main street. So they were the hub of the village, the welfare centre in this area here.
The welfare park, part of Thornley's rich history and an incredible asset to the community today, suffered a devastating incident in October 2017.
It was subject to an arson attack just over a year ago, and it was heartbreaking at the time, because I remember that it was the under-13s team at the time were actually playing at home on the Saturday morning. And they arrived at the ground, as they do for a normal home game, to see the thing on fire.
Because the doors were closed, it just smouldered all night, so it took the beams away inside and the floorboards as well, and really a lot of damage to the building.
Kids have got nowhere to get changed. There's no toilet facilities at the ground at the moment, and we had a little kind of coffee shop, tuck shop that we used to run on match days.
The area isn't secure, so anybody can get in, because obviously the fence around the whole area is just wooden. It's never really been replaced. We do what we can as a parish council to fill the gaps in, but as soon as we fill in, they just pulled back out again by vandals.
And yet again, the parish council supports us all the time, and hopefully we have good news in the next year or so.
What we're looking to seek now is to have the whole area fenced off with more secure fencing.
We're really excited about it. The parish council have been brilliant, and the local councillor as well have been fantastic. They've really supported us in going out and seeking funding to have a new fence put round the ground.
The great news was that Thornley Parish Council was able to secure funding from Durham County Council and the Football Foundation. This, combined with parish council funds, meant that planning could begin on renovating the welfare sports ground. More on this a little later. Whatever the season, the hard work and dedication of the village maintenance team ensures that Thornley Village not only looks its best, but that everything works the way it should. This includes everything from regular grass cutting to planting, cleaning and equipment inspections. Behind the scenes are a hard-working team who organise events, village services and keep Thornley on track.
Obviously it's my role to do the day-to-day running of the village centre. The community side of it is the development work of what I do. So there's the facilities as far as the building and the premises, and then the community side is probably the development work what I do, as in organising activities, events, that type of thing.
My title is a community support assistant. So I do the admin here, but I also do, if there's any events, I help out with the events as well. So
we need people who are outgoing and like to talk to people, and you've got to get on well because you're a small team. It wouldn't work if people didn't like mucking.
They're great, we have a really good laugh, yeah. Yeah, I love working here.
If I go home and I've managed to get all the bills paid, I've managed to keep the majority of the residents happy, and the council is well informed about what's happening the following day, what's going to happen in the next few weeks. I've got agendas done, the reports have been completed. I can go to sleep, I can put my head on the pillow and drift off.
The autumn season took off in spooktacular style with our annual Halloween party, where mischief and scares were the order of the day. Years ago, the guns were finally silenced on the Western Front. The world marked this momentous centenary, and Thornley was no different. Residents of all ages came together in a series of events and ceremonies, culminating in the Remembrance Service on the 11th of November.
You just need to look at the war memorials when you go around these former colliery villages. You know, and the cenotaphs will have dozens, if not hundreds, of names on them. And these are communities that 100 years ago were a lot smaller than they are today. So I did a bit of research on this about 4 years ago, and when you look at the number of people, men and families that were affected, who lost their lives, every household had some story about the war. And it was a cathartic moment for those local communities, and it's something that we shouldn't forget, because ultimately there was a great sacrifice made so that we could enjoy the privileges that we have today. And we should never forget that, and we should always remember it.
As autumn neared its end, parish councillors met with Durham County Council to coordinate their winter bad weather plan. Just another of the many things that go on behind the scenes to keep Thornley safe and working for everyone. In the village centre, the year was topped off with everyone getting together for some good old-fashioned partying and pantomime.
And I've got Francis here, who has won the competition to switch the lights on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch on!
Boys and girls, are you ready for pantomime?
I'm the evil henchman. Big butts with you.
I've been working out.
Oh, well, no matter. Because you'll soon all learn to obey me. For I am Belladonna, the most beautiful in the land.
Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
The new year brought different challenges as the maintenance team filled grip bins and checked on village facilities. New tarmac was laid at the entrance to the cemetery, and regular inspections of stones and grave markers continued. One ongoing concern is for the safety of those that visit the cemetery, and so gravestones that have become unstable are clearly marked and relatives informed to try and rectify the issue. The Parish Council have now installed a new firm headstone base, meaning that new memorials will have a solid foundation, which should help with the instability problems. Regular checks will still be carried out on existing headstones to ensure that they're safe and any issues reported. The great news over the winter was that work finally commenced on refitting and reopening the Welfare Ground Sports Pavilion. The work began with a number of consultations, asking those that regularly use the ground what the ideal facilities would be and how we could provide them within the available budget.
To us, it'd be just two change rooms.
Yeah.
Could be a combined shower, could be separate showers and toilets up here.
And all the electrics have to come out. They're going to be renewed irrespective because of the fire damage. All the lights have to be...
The results of those meetings were complemented by talking to our contractors to see what was technically possible and how to move the project forward.
Into the main kitchen areas.
You'll end up with a far more secure welfare facility. That's the football ground itself. Because
Even though the pavilion has been out of use, the ground itself saw a very busy winter, and Thornley Parish Council was delighted to become the official team sponsor of Thornley FC Over 40s team. Spring has brought us full circle in a year in the life of Thornley Village. The new season has meant a post-winter sprucing up of the village, and cleaning, planting and general maintenance has continued apace. After the winter clear-out of burnt timber and damaged material at the Welfare Pavilion, the new fence construction around the ground could begin. Once the area was secured, the internal work commenced, and spring saw everybody's hard work rewarded by the grand opening of the newly refurbished pavilion and ground by Thornley FC Under-16s superstar Kieran Dower.
The committee fully support Kieran and will ensure that when he turns 16, he will have the opportunity to qualify as an Well done, Kieran.
Absolutely fantastic. We wait nearly just over a year now, I think, after what happened. And absolutely class. I mean, you could see the future of Thornley FC stars coming in here because we invite all the parents to come in, all the players to come in. When you look inside, absolutely brilliant. And this, we need this to bring something and give all Thornley FC committee and the coaches to do a little bit more, I think, after this. We got the facility now, so now we just go out and enjoy what we're doing best. Absolutely over the moon. Absolutely over the moon. So, well done, Parish Council. Absolutely class. Absolutely class.
Whatever the season, the team at Thornley Parish Council work hard to ensure that Thornley is a village to be proud of. Building on our history and heritage, we move forwards together.